Welcome back to the show, and if you're joining us, we're in the second segment of The Entrepreneur. On to our second guest tonight. His name is Dr. John Kithaka, and he's a Group CEO of Fountain Enterprise Program. Please join me as we learn a thing or two about investment. Hello, Dr. Kithaka.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Beautiful place you have.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. The Dr. Kithaka people know. I want you to take us back and run us through the journey of where you're coming from to where you are right now.
Having been born 40 years ago in Kirinyaga, in a normal family, very humble family, I went to a primary school, the normal rural primary school. I would say it's when I was in class 8, when I started discovering, man, you need to be serious here. So I went to Moi High School, Kabarak for 4 years, and I had one agenda to be the best career, to pick the best career, and that's how I became an architect. But while I was in university, I was very clear that I will not be employed. In fact, I used to make fun with my classmates in high school, in the university, that in the university you have a choice to either come out with distinction and poor, or come out with a good pass and rich. And I chose to come out rich because I was sure I'm not after being employed. When other students are having fun, me, I was very busy supervising my businesses all over Nairobi, Dandora, South B, Nairobi University, KU, Kirinyaga, and hotels. And I had about 37 employees. And I used to do microfinance even in the university. And I can tell you for sure that it was one life I loved.
Wait a minute, Dr. Kithaka. You mean you used to have, lend people money while still in campus? So where do you get this money from, and what companies did you have?
Oh yes, I can tell you, and about 7 kiosks spread all over in Nairobi, Kayole, South B.
Still as a student?
Koba, yes, Nairobi University, Kenyatta University, Juja, and about 6 hotels or so in Kirinyaga.
At the end of the day, would you say that you were able to balance between your studies and the business?
But at the same time, I used to be very serious with my academics. And therefore, I was able to get enough income, and I would say more than enough, to cater for my school fees, for my feeding, to pay schools for my siblings, and also I had enough money to give out as microfinance.
Maybe you can detail to us what FEP is all about, and someone who is watching you right now and they probably have no idea what FEP is, what would you tell them it is?
FEP is a conglomerate of 15 companies that are joined together to do what we call investment. When you understand the formula of investment, is when you spend all your time when you are active, creating a system, I'll call it a pipeline, that shall finally bring money to you when you are not able to go for it.
How many members does FEP have up to date, and how did you get to convince them, to jump into this boat?
One thing I would say, that FEP is a story that you look back with thanksgiving, tell God thank you, that we started the year 2002 with a story of one person saying, I have 7 friends I can believe in. Of course, classmates from university, from high school, and I brought them together. And I told them, guys, there's a story here. If you're visionary and you believe in it, it will take us places. In 2002, we were 56 members by 2006. That was the foundational stages when we were just discussing. It can happen, researching, laying the foundations. Then 2007, we started inviting friends. And I would say that the number grew from 56 to 1,207 by 2011. By 2013, the number grew to that 7,000. I also want to say that by end of last year, we had 63,000 investors within our framework.
I would say FEP is really growing. So where is present felt within the country and outside the country?
Within Kenya, we are very established in 44 counties.
Oh, that's good.
Where we can say within those 44 counties, we have an average of 3,000-4,000 members per county.
Wow, so you've covered like the whole country now.
Then we also wanted to have a global perspective. So you find that even you go to Kampala, you go to South Africa, you go to Botswana, we have a lot of members. Then you go to diaspora, in the US, in the UK, in Dubai, in Australia, in the 4 cities in Australia. Actually, we have 17,000 members of FEP in the diaspora alone.
You say that, you know, from 2002 to 2015, those are 13 years. There must have been a challenge there, Dr. Kithaka, to try and convince those people that give me 13 years so they can see the fruition of this. What challenges did you go through?
I would say that it is not easy to offer leadership. And more so appreciating that we are living in a very instant generation. People want things now, want to be rich now. The issue of tomorrow doesn't hold water. Number two, we are saying we are living in a generation where people have really defrauded others, people have betrayed trust, and people are almost to an extent, although they don't believe in each other. And then we're also saying that you are telling people to do businesses that they are not used to. So you're talking of a complete mind shift, telling people to think differently, which means there's a lot of innovation. It is not my strategy that has worked, but I can say with the confidence that God has been in this idea. Because to be honest, bringing all the tribes in Kenya together, bringing the old, the young, the rich, the poor together for a common agenda in a united front, it has taken the grace of God.
Currently, where would you say FEP has invested in? In what areas have you got into invest in so far?
Together, we have 2 schools, one in Tigoni, one in Mwea, called Fountain School Tigoni, Fountain School Mwea. We have a 1.2 billion hotel, which is opening in the next 6 months. In Sagana, a state-of-the-art international 4-star hotel. People can say, that's our hotel. I can tell you, people can say we are having a bank information. We are having an insurance company information. We are having a travel agency. We are having a security company, one of the biggest security companies in the country, Citadel Security. We have a technology company that is actually already a multinational with a presence in Ghana, in Rwanda, in TZ, in Uganda, and in Kenya. And I can tell you that we are headed. And you can be sure in the next 1 month, we are opening our first hospital in town center. And by December, we are going to have 7 major clinics all over the country. And I can also tell you that by God's grace, December 2015, nobody will be asking in Kenya what is FEP. You shall be a brand name out there that nobody can even know.
So what are the future plans of FEP? Where do you see FEP in the next, few years?
Today we have a portfolio of more than 5 billion. And therefore I would say that with the 5 billion, our strategy is to be worthy not less than 100 billion in the next 2-3 years. And I'll tell you, in the next 5 years or so, by 2020, we want to be the story of the biggest and the fastest growing and the most innovative investment conglomerate in the East African region.
People watching you right now, what would you tell them, and encourage them, and also give them the importance of investment?
When the Bible says that thou shalt know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Investment to me is when you are sure that what you are doing, that no matter what, I am on a path that tells me that the more I grow old, the richer I become. Whether I'm there or I'm not there, there is an assurance of my investments growing better and better. As a parting shot, the Bible says that time and chance happens to them all. There's an opportunity for everybody. And therefore, I would say that opportunities are always there. And what is important is for you to tap into it, get into it, and that's why in FEP, we call anybody who is daring to listen.
You're a busy man in the office and also a family man. How do you balance that, and how do you even get to share those times, and do you get to relax after all that?
One of the books I'm writing, which I believe is going to be out by the end of this year, is telling people to appreciate the balancing of life. Because one thing I believe that if your 3 pillars are not right, you are not headed in the right direction. And I say that you ought to be economically right. You ought to be spiritually right and socially right. But I think for me is that everything in life requires balance. Let's look for money, a good idea. Let's do business, a good idea. But let's have time for God. Let's have time for our families, because in everything, balance is critical.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kithaka, for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate. Thank you for the loads of wisdom that you have. All right. Okay. And once again, congratulations on acquiring your PhD.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations are in order. Well, there you have it from Dr. Kithaka. He has talked a lot of wisdom, and I hope you got something or two there in terms of investment. What I got is say that time and chance happeneth to them all. So make sure you get your time. We've come to the end of our show tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the guest that we brought for you. Until next week, same time, Thursday, 8:30, it is good night and God bless you from the team and I. But before we go, please get in touch on our social media pages that are on your screen right now, Facebook, Twitter, and our email address. Drop us a comment and let us know how you find the show. See you next week.